Now let's try to understand the question that was asked in 2013. Which one of the following statement is correct? First, it is saying that in India, the same person cannot be appointed as a governor for 2 or more states at the same time. I hope that you know this was the part of the original constitution, but under 7th Constitution Amendment Act, we changed the provision, and in this particular part, we mentioned that a single governor can be appointed as a governor for more than 2 or more states. Is it clear? So this is incorrect. This was changed in 7th Constitution Amendment Act. The judges of the High Court of the state in India are appointed by the governor. Every time we are just as the judges of the Supreme Court appointed by the president. Every time we are reading that if the constitutional position is to be appointed, it is to be appointed by the President of India. So while appointing the judges of High Court or be it Supreme Court judges, it is the President who will be appointing the judges of both, either High Court or Supreme Court. Again, this particular statement is incorrect. No procedure has been laid down in the Constitution for the removal of the governor from his or her post. If you would have read about the office of governor, this is the biggest criticism for the politicization of the office of governor. The office of governor is misused only because no procedure has been provided in the Constitution for the removal of governor. Governor is sitting in the house only at the pleasure of president. President at any time can remove the governor without even giving the notice period. So this particular statement is correct. Now the fourth statement is saying that in case of union territory having a legislative setup, the chief minister appointed by the LG on the basis of majority support. No, again this is not the correct answer. So the correct answer is option number C, or the statement number C. Again in 2018, the question was asked from the president that if the President of India exercise his power as provided under Article 356. What is Article 356? It is basically talking about failure of constitutional machinery, which is also known as President rule of the Constitution in respect of a particular state. Then what will happen? In case the state is under the president rule or there is a failure of constitutional machinery, what will happen in a particular state? The assembly of the state is automatically dissolved? No, it is not automatically dissolved. It is suspended. What is the difference between dissolving the house and suspending the house? Suspending means whenever the emergency or whenever the president rule is ending, again the house will come back to the session. But suspension means, or dissolution means that there is no council of ministers and new elections are to be conducted. So this is not the correct option. Second statement is saying that the power of the legislature of the state shall be exercised by or under the authority of the parliament. So whenever president rule is imposed in a particular state, all the powers are resting with the parliament, right? So in case any law needs to be made for the state legislature or on the behalf of the state legislature, it will be made by the parliament. This particular statement is correct. Third statement is saying that Article 19 is suspended in that state. Please remember that in case of president rule, there is no effect on the fundamental right, be it Article 19, 20 or 21 that you have read in the national emergency. Whenever national emergency is imposed, there is definitely impact on the fundamental right. But in case of Article 356, there is no impact on the fundamental right. Next is the president can make laws relating to that state. Please remember that the power of making laws is with the parliament. The power of giving the executive decision is with the president. This particular statement would have been correct if the question or the statement would have read like, the president can make certain executive decision for that state, but president cannot make the law for that state. So B is the correct option. Now this question was asked in 2017, again related to president rule. what will happen or what would be the consequences of president rule, or not necessarily the consequences of the president rule. First is dissolution of the state legislative assembly. Again, I already discussed that whenever the president rule is imposed or whenever Article 356 is imposed, then we cannot say that state legislative assembly will be dissolved. Second or third statement is saying that dissolution of the local body. Again, this is not the consequence of the president rule. The consequence of the president rule is that removal of the council of minister in that particular state. So the council of minister is removed from the office, or it means they are not working for that particular time period whenever the president rule is imposed. So the correct option here is B, because the question is asking that what are not necessary consequences of the president rule. So first and the third option is correct. Now, in 2022, this particular question was asked from the 5th schedule. What will happen if an area is coming under 5th schedule? So, whenever area is declared as a schedule area under 5th schedule of the Indian Constitution, please remember that the governor of that particular state will be having more powers, right? So, the governor will be becoming more powerful in that particular area. Right. So, governor in the case of 5th schedule, they are having certain powers or certain rules and regulation to be made. The first rule and regulation they can make that there should be no transfer of land from ST to other STs or from scheduled tribe to other community outside the schedule area. So, if any area is coming under 5th schedule, it means that this would prevent the transfer of land of the tribal people to the non-tribal people. Second statement is saying that this would create a local self-governing body in that area. This is not the correct option. No local self-body governing, kind of body is created whenever the 5th schedule is implemented. This would convert the area into the UT. No, 5th schedule is talking about giving protection to the scheduled tribes. Right, whereas 6th schedule is talking about giving the protection to the scheduled tribes in the case of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Again, this is not the correct option. D is saying that state having such an area would be declared as a special category state. Again, special category state is not to be considered whenever any area is becoming the schedule area. If any area is coming under the schedule area, governor will be having the power to restrict the transfer of the land from the tribal people to the non-tribal people. I hope that you are able to understand this particular question. So, these are some of the questions that has been framed by the UPSC from the Union Executive as well as the State Executive. Please, it's my recommendation to you people, go and revise the static notes of the president as well as the governor so that it becomes very easy for you to remember at the time of giving the examination. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next part.